I don't know a single coach who hasn't struggled to sign clients at one point or another. The problem with most business strategies is the business owner teaching them doesn't care if the business strategies are aligned with the business owner or not. Most of them want to teach you how to become a millionaire and make the most amount of money doing the least amount of work. But for me, my values aren't money. My values are service and freedom. But before you turn up this video, I promise I do care about money too and helping coaches sign clients and make consistent sales. And so in this video, I'm going to break down my aligned and signed framework for how you can sign consistent clients online in a way that is in alignment with your values, what you desire, in a way that is simple and gives you the freedom that you desire. If you're new to me, I'm Sarah Hagstrom, and I have been in business for over 10 years working as a coach. I've worked with over 1,000 coaches, helping them sign clients consistently online. And I have tried practically every business strategy you've heard of. I've tried live launches, I've tried webinars, I've outsourced my social media to social media managers, I've hired a team, I've hired ad managers, I've done passive courses. I have done it all. And it left me burnt out. But like I always say, when you know this is what you're meant to do, when there's nothing else you'd rather be doing, what else are you going to do? You're going to figure it out. And that is exactly how I found the aligned and signed framework, a framework for consistent, high-paying clients that you love working with, but in a way that allows you to still live your life and enjoy it. So let's dive in, my friend. We're going to get into this 7-part framework, but I want you to pay attention to the entire framework because when one piece is missing, you're not going to see consistent clients. You really need all of the pieces and you need to have confidence with them. And so I'm going to walk you through tips on each of them. But pay attention to when you might want to write something off because if you're signing clients, but you want to sign more, there's a lot of nuances. And so, I might say something like niche and you might be like, oh, I have that, right? But for example, one of my clients, I was just talking to her and she was using the language from surviving to thriving. And what she found was the surviving portion of that needed to change in her niche because what she was getting was people who were literally barely surviving. And so they can't afford to pay for her coaching. They're not showing up on time for discovery calls, right? So she needed to tweak that, right? So there are little things like that throughout this framework I want you to pay attention to because you might be like, oh, I do have freebies, but you're using freebies via email growth rather than a value add, right? There's these little nuances that make a really big difference. So let's dive in. Okay. Step number 1 is brand identity. Okay. And what I mean by brand identity is why you do what you do. This is about you. This is about your story. This is about your mission. One thing I see with brand identity a lot is coaches have outgrown their brand identity or they're not showing up with their brand identity. So they're blending in. If you've outgrown your brand identity, what you're doing, how you're doing it, who you're focusing on, and you're still posting about it because it's getting likes, it's not going to get you clients because that's not actually what you want to do. It's out of alignment, right? And I know that this seems obvious, but you have to be really honest. Clients who are signing consistent coaching clients of mine, I said that weird. My clients who are signing consistent coaching clients, they love what they do. There's nothing else they would rather be doing, right? So you need to make sure that that is aligned for you too and not be afraid to pivot. So this is going to give you a clear mission. And what I want to see here is I want to see your story in here because you are the only one who has your life experience. So I want to be seeing that in your content, right? In your emails and everything that you're doing. Like I always say, clients are not hiring you because you're perfect. They're hiring you because they feel connected to you. And how they're going to feel connected to you is your brand identity. So if you are posting generic things, if you're posting content that's out of alignment with who you are now, the niche is out of alignment, anything like that, it's not going to work. So you need a clear brand identity. And sometimes it's going to be hard to do on your own. I'm really good at doing this because I kind of walk you guys through okay, what have you been through? Okay, what are you most excited about? There's a lot of links. There's a lot of links here And so I often do this for my one-on-one clients as well as those in Aligned and Signed Academy, because this is the foundation. This is the foundation of everything that you do, right? It's why are you a coach? Why are you doing this? What's the backstory there? Like, we need an emotional reason that people can connect to. This is so key in coaching. If you're a health coach, if you're a spiritual coach, this is necessary. Do not skip this. So when you have this, you'll know you have this when you can post on social media about your story, your life experience, what you're going through, and tie it back to the work that you do in this world, right? So if you can do that, you love like what you're coaching on, you have stories you're telling, and you're able to post and tie it all together, then you are good, my friend, on brand identity. Okay, and then the second is the client magnets. And so essentially, this is to make sure that you're attracting the right people, right? So kind of like I gave the example earlier of my client who needed to shift her messaging, right? So this also can be like the niche, right? So you have a really clear niche and you're able to answer this question: what problem do you solve for your clients? As well as, who are your clients? So who are your clients and what problem do you solve for them? So for me, my clients are health coaches and spiritual coaches, and I solve clients and income for them, right? Coaches who are struggling with clients and struggling with income, I solve that for them. I also solve alignment. If they're feeling out of alignment and they're just having a hard time making their business work the way that they want it to work, they hire me, right? So you need to be able to answer that as well. Again, like I said, the problem I see often with this one is coaches have outgrown it, right? Or their niche it's too broad. They're trying to talk to everybody, right? So really like honing in on a specific client. So I always like to give you guys examples. I think that it can be really helpful. So say that I help women improve their nervous system, right? That may have worked a few years ago, but as the coaching industry expands, it's really important that you're getting more specific so you really stand out. And so instead of I help women improve their nervous system, it could be I help single moms reset their nervous system so they can be present with their kids in 90 days or less. See how that's really specific and that's going to magnetize clients? You really want that. And I remember back when I started my health coaching business, Pat Flynn had a book and it was like, the riches are in the niches. And I think that that's so true. Like, the more niche and specific you can be in today's world, the more clients that you're going to have. So don't be afraid to niche down, even more so than you already are. So for me, for example, in 2019, I was able to say, I am a business coach for health coaches, right? Like, that was enough. Now there are so many, right? There are so many people who are helping health coaches, right? And so I had to get even more specific. And so now it's like I help health coaches and spiritual coaches sign consistent clients and make weekly sales by being in alignment, right? So coaches who have been burnt out, who don't want to do salesy tactics, right? They are the ones who are signing up for Aligned and Signed Academy. Coaches who have had clients, but they want more clients, right? So it's gotten more specific as time goes on, and that might be the case for you. You might need to tighten it up a little bit. And so again, this is the client magnet. I have a really great video on this on Instagram. My Instagram is Sarah_Hagstrom, or you can just, find it and send me a message and just be like, hey, can you send me the client magnet video? I think I need to hone in a little bit more. Happy to do that. This is something that I'm doing often, refining, getting it a little bit more specific. As I work online, over the years, this has happened a lot. Just the pivot, the shift, right? I think that that's really important to stay relevant and to stay in business. For me, being able to say I've been in business, working for myself, supporting myself for over 10 years now, like, that is huge. And that goes to show I'm not afraid to do a little bit of a pivot as needed. So that is number 2, the client magnet. And you'll know that you're on the right track with this one when you are getting ideal clients to sign up for your programs and they feel like friends. You're like, I love this client. I can help them. They're good clients, right? When it's not a good fit, like when it's not working, you're going to get freebie seekers. You're going to get people who are engaging. You're going to get people who drain your energy. That's when you know you need to work on step number 2. But again, we need all of the pieces for consistent clients. So step number 3 is your signature process. Now, this is so important, guys. Oh man, I can't tell you how many coaches have told me, oh, I just meet the clients where they are and like my process changes based on the clients. Now, that's great from a coaching standpoint, but like I always say, your role as a business owner, right, who is a coach, means you have to wear the coach hat. You also have to wear the marketing hat. Saying that you do custom plans that you create based on the client, that is not good for marketing because it's vague, it's broad. What does that mean? What would a custom plan be? Like, you know what I'm saying? So even though you might do that in sessions, having some structure, some flow, some process is really important. Not to mention if you actually want to scale your business, if you want to do courses and memberships and things like that, you need a process. And I promise you, you actually have a process. You just haven't pulled it out yet. And my clients, sometimes they kick and scream a little bit going through this because it is such deep work, right? It's getting really nitty gritty about your past clients, your current clients, what you do with them. How can we boil it down? How can we get it more specific? But this, when you have your process, you can pull from content, you can get low ticket offers, emails, you can get everything from this, and it guarantees that everything is going to be in alignment. So it's really good for sales too. When people see my process, which is what I'm walking you through right now, they're like, I need to work with you. This makes so much sense. I love this. This clicks. I know what I'm going to get with Sarah, right? Like it literally closes so many sales. And so I cannot recommend this enough. And so what I have you do is I have you think about what you do with clients in 3 to 5 steps, right? What are those main steps you do with clients? What are the goals your clients have? And what are the problems they're experiencing from not having that goal, right? And then how do you solve that, right? And this becomes your signature process that you can put in your signature program, that you can pull pieces from. And this also guarantees that you are speaking to what people actually want because you're starting based on what are your ideal clients' 3 to 5 goals, right? I was going to talk about this again, how like coaches kind of want to skip this step, but I promise it's so important. Don't skip it. And when you finish this, if you're curious what this should look like, when you finish this, it should look like this. This is kind of the example of a signature process I walk all coaches through in Aligned and Signed Academy. So this is kind of what it looks like if you're curious when you have your process. Very clear and easy to follow. Okay. Step number 4 is the content flow formula. This means that you can post original, consistent content without overthinking and get at least 3 ideal clients to raise their hand to be interested every single time, right? So you have mastered this. If I post a piece of content, I have this idea, I can post it, and I know my ideal clients are going to show up. That means that you have mastered the content flow formula. And I really keep this very, very simple. I teach my clients 3 different types of posts. I teach them the hand raiser, the value or relatable. So that's relatable means like story, and the soft sales post. We keep it very simple. You don't have to do day in the life, vlogs. If you like doing those, you can. But we are keeping it very, very simple. We are showing up on video though. I think everybody kind of knows that's a must this day and age, but there's 3 types of posts. We're just rotating it. It can kind of just get like, okay, here we go. The thing with it is though, we're testing different hooks. We're testing different styles, right? We're staying up to date with, what's working now, but the content is the same. Once you understand how to do the 3 types of posts, when you need more like ideal clients, you're doing a hand raiser post, right? When you need to nurture more people, you're doing a relatable post. And when you're ready for more sales, or you have a launch, or your income's low, or you haven't hit your weekly sales goals, you're doing a soft sales post. So you know each of the posts and you know what they do, how to do them, and how to get clients from them, right? Okay, so that's step 4. Let's dive into step 5. Optimized coaching programs. So with consistent clients, we are not creating new programs all the time, right? Because that is hard to maintain, sustain. Income goes like this, like this, like this, like it's all over the place, right? So what we're doing is we're having a signature program that's priced between 1 and 3K. You can move it up depending on like your industry, but I would start with 1 to 3K for your signature. As demand increases, that's a good time to raise your rates, right? Sometimes coaches will be like, nobody's buying. Like, should I tell them I'm raising the prices? If nobody's buying, that is not what we're working on. We're working on increasing demand, not raising the price, right? I'm a big fan of coaches not undercharging though. So we are starting at, the 1 to 3K mark for a signature program. So we have that. And then we have low ticket offers, right? So we have a few low ticket offers and you can always create more. It just kind of depends on your style. You can sell the same ones or you can create new ones, but you have a few low ticket offers as well. And the low ticket offers, the point of low ticket offers is to build that trust with people who have been hanging out, they're new to you. And if you can sell a good low ticket offer and they have a good experience, they then will move into your signature program. So it works really well. If you're unsure what to include in your offers, if you're worried that you're undercharging, if you don't have a strong sales page or it's not converting, then this is what you need to work on. We're not doing live launches. So again, this is aligned and signed, right? And so what I've found is for the most part, live launches put a lot of pressure on coaches and they take them out of their flow state. So we're doing open enrollments, we're doing expiring bonuses, we're doing other things that allow us to continue to bring in new clients every single week, right? Make those weekly sales without this pressure of, oh my gosh, like let me know if you can relate to this. It's like 2 days before the end of enrollment and all you can think about is how you're going to get more people in there and like it's consuming your energy and it doesn't feel good and you feel stressed and you feel like, why did I even do this? Like, I never want to do this again. Yeah, that's the live launch hamster wheel that is not good for coaches who prioritize balance, peace, and a life outside of their business. Now, if you are new to me, I love working. I love working. I love doing this. I'm recording this video on a Saturday because I just love it, right? Like I love coaching. I love helping coaches, but I want to have the freedom to work when I want, right? I don't want to feel like 2 days before the end of a launch, I got to do all of this stuff. To me, that just adds pressure. And when I have that pressure on myself, I'm not able to be as creative and as service focused as I'd like to be. And so I have another video on my channel that I did with my husband, Peter, on releasing the pressure. And that was really important for my growth. And I highly recommend it. So just know that this framework, it works so well. When you learn it and you master it, you are going to love it. But it doesn't require you to be stressed out, right? Like there's none of that. Like it works for consistent clients and you get to release the stress and pressure of live launches and how a lot of people are still doing business, unfortunately. So that is optimized coaching programs, right? We have sales pages, we have clear transformations, we have clear prices, right? We're using the low ticket to build trust that goes into our signature. Yeah. Okay. Step number 6 is selling your program, right? We got to sell your program. I know you want to sell your program. And so, like I said, I don't do for selling. The mechanisms that I teach are based on service and value. And I know that it sounds too good to be true, but most coaches are not giving value with their content. Now, it's not to say that coaches aren't valuable. I'm not saying that you don't have value to give, but I'm saying the way that you're delivering it is not coming through. Your clients, your followers, they're not receiving it. And so that is our job, is to make sure that clients are receiving the value. So just to kind of like rewind a little bit, I don't do live launches. I think you got that. I don't do webinars. I don't do cold DMs or cold outreach, right? Because I feel like when you're doing cold outreach, it takes you out of the power position. When you get people to raise their hand and say they're interested, I want in, how can I do this, right? It puts you in that position of like, hey, I have this if you want it, but like, I'm not desperate. I'm not needy, right? it's a good position to be in. It feels a lot better having clients just come to you and reach out to you, right? Obviously, you can tell from this, it's not that there's no work involved. We are working girls, but it's not like this like desperate, like, sign up, I need you, da 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 da, right? So I just find that it adds that hustle and that desperate energy that I've never been a fan of. So how do I do it then? So like I said, I focus on service and value. And so I do freebies. I love a good freebie. Most people are doing freebies wrong. I teach how to do freebies so they actually convert in Aligned and Signed Academy. So I'm delivering freebies straight to people. I'm giving them to them. I'm not trying to get an email. I'm not trying to get them to jump through all these hoops. Like, I literally just want to give people something, because what happens when people help us, when we get a win, we get a transformation, we get an aha moment, we get a breakthrough, something's been explained in a way that it's never been explained before. We're like, I need to work with her. They're amazing. That was so helpful and I didn't even pay for it. So imagine if I'm working with them full time, like the results that I can get, right? It works. It's so simple. I've literally been teaching this for years because it works. It worked in my health coaching business. It worked in my spiritual coaching business. It works in my business coaching business. It's just a fact of life. It's like, we trust people who help us. It's like, whoa, she's always helped me. That means I want to be in her program because like she's always had my back, right? I think sometimes coaches are like, I've been helping so much. And then it's like, well, you need to have it aligned with what you actually do. So in my freebies, if you get freebies from me, you will see a link to my program underneath. You will see in my freebies how, okay, I'm learning this, but I still need help with this. Okay, Sarah's the answer to that, right? Again, it's aligned. And what I see happen often is coaches will be giving value. Once you guys are giving value, some coaches are giving value. Some coaches are not giving value through their content. But coaches who are giving value, then it's not aligned with their program. It's a mismatch. They seem like two different things. It's like, I need this, but I don't need this. Or, oh, I got everything I needed from this. It's too much you're giving away. And then they're like, I'm just going to work on this for a year and I'll get back to you, right? We don't want that either. So that I'm using freebies. I'm also using trainings like this. This is essentially a training. I'm teaching you my signature aligned and signed framework, right? So where I'm just giving a lot. So again, people can understand, how does Sarah work? How does she think? What's her method? Do I align with it? And if I do, I'm going to check out her programs. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to hire her, right? So that, and then the third piece is conversations. I feel like, let me know if I'm wrong, I feel like everybody wants to automate everything. There are some things in business that I think you should not automate, especially at the beginning. And for me, 10 years in, I still feel like I'm at the beginning, right? I still feel like I'm at the beginning. So conversations with ideal clients and sales is something I do not think that you should outsource. And speaking from somebody who's done it and run into so many mistakes and just seeing how it really decreased my conversions. So with automated messages, people do not like that. Like heart-centered people, I'm sure some people are like, I don't care, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Probably a guy. No offense if you're watching this. I don't think any guys are. But they're, maybe they don't care, but for women, we want connection. For somebody thinking about hiring a coach, like, I want to know that they care about me. I want to know that I'm not just a number to you, right? So I've set up automations and people are just like, oh, never mind, right? Like, they don't like that. And to be fair, like, I actually didn't want to set that up. It was like a Facebook ads thing. And it like automatically added that because I have always been like, no, that is not what we're doing here. But I have had other coaches that I've hired, right, and team members that I've hired do sales calls and program calls, and they're like, here's the truth. Nobody's going to care about your business as much as you do, right? And so some of them got lazy, got sloppy, said things that weren't true, and I definitely had upset customers and clients because of it, right? And so for me, and for my clients, I do not recommend outsourcing conversations. I recommend that you have conversations. And my clients, they ask me all the time, they're like, holy cow, I'm having so many conversations. I'm talking to so many people, like, how do you do it? And honestly, like, I set a timer and I just spend some time Monday through Friday having conversations with my ideal clients because I learned so much, and I'm so grateful that you guys trust me enough to share what's going on in your business, what you're working on, how you're out of alignment, how you want to get in alignment. Like, I don't take that lightly, and I don't think that you should either. So conversations, people who I have conversations with, they end up in my program. Why? Because we've connected, we've built that trust, right? So that is essentially how I am selling my program, right? Through service and connection. Yeah. Okay. And how you'll know that you've achieved this is you're consistently getting clients in your programs, right? You're consistently having new people sign up. If you're not doing that, you're going to want to work on selling. And again, if you're using sales tactics that are out of alignment, that you don't agree with, that you don't fully understand, that you don't like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, right? Because you are heart-centered. You are here to be of service and be in alignment, right? And so when you're selling in a way that's in alignment, right, how good do you think it feels to just talk to someone and share how you can help them and then have them sign up? That feels really good. That's very in alignment for the clients that I work with. Okay, step number 7. This is a big one because I think a lot of coaches want to jump to this one, but this one, Amplify, really works best when you have the other 6 in place, right? And it doesn't have to take a long time to implement these. Like my clients, they can implement these in 3 months, right? They can implement these quick. Some people, they take a little bit longer. They have other stuff going on, right? It also depends. Like, are you still working a job, right? Are you doing this full time? Like, it depends. And like I always say, it's not a race, but like if you need consistent clients now, if you have an income goal you're working towards, get these 7 in place and watch consistent clients roll in, weekly sales roll in. So 7 is Amplify. And essentially what it means is 3 things I have you work on this stage. So 1, getting your clients good results. If you already have clients in your group program, one-on-one membership, focus on getting them good results, focus on boundaries, focus on wins throughout the program, because if you're getting your clients good results, they're going to give you testimonials. And I show you how to set this up as well so that clients are giving you testimonials without you having to ask. So that is one part of Amplify, right? It's great for word of mouth. Like my clients are always telling other coaches about me. Oh, you got to meet Sarah. You got to connect with Sarah. These coaches are DMing me. Hey, can we get on a call? Hey, I'm thinking about the academy, right? Like, love that. I love to hear that because usually my clients who are referring people, I like those people because I already like my clients. So it's just like more people coming in just from me doing my job. I'm not really doing anything extra, right? So that's really nice. So that's one part. Second part is through collaborations. So collaborations can be great, right? So this can look like IG collaborations. This can look like brand partnerships. This can look like being on podcasts, being guests on like a video show. All of those work great. Those are perfect for this. But like I said, you want to do this after you have the other ones, because if you get a bunch of traffic and you don't have a sales process, you don't have value add, you don't have a way for people to get quick wins, right? You don't have a strong program or a low ticket offer, it's not going to convert. That traffic is not going to convert. And so that's why this is step number 7. And then the other part of step number 7 is paid traffic. So I'm talking about Facebook ads, Instagram ads, right? And again, these work well if you already have content that converts organically. If you have a program that's already selling really well, then you can just amplify it, right? And so by the time you reach this stage, everything else in business will be aligned so you can confidently invest your time and money knowing it's not going to go to waste. When you have all the pieces in place, this is what the aligned and signed framework looks like. Pretty cool, right? I know that this can look like a lot, but I promise once you get these in place, you will see consistent clients, you will see weekly sales, and you will have space to breathe and enjoy your life outside of your business, right? I think that is my favorite part about this strategy is it's not super complex. It makes a lot of sense, right? And there's always room for improvement and kind of turning up the dial a little bit, right? With ads, with collaborations, with your content. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you want my help implementing this full framework, this full strategy for your business with my personal feedback and support, check out Aligned and Signed Academy. It's linked below this video. All right. Bye, friend.